In the final scenes of Squid Game Season 3, the entire island where the games took place is engulfed in flames, while the frontman and all the elites manage to escape. At that moment, Netflix boldly declares, "The trilogy is complete." The show's creator, Hwang Dong-hyuk, appears on magazine covers giving interviews about closing the story. Critics rush to publish their conclusions with headlines like, "How Squid Game Changed Television," or "The Game is Over," "Why Season 3 was a proper finale." Everything suggests a definitive ending. But let's ask an uncomfortable question. What if all this spectacle is just a smokescreen? What if the island's explosion wasn't the end, but a flashy fireworks show before the next act? Today, using only details already present in the show and official statements, I'll show you why Season 4 is not just possible, it's inevitable. And the most surprising part, Netflix has been using this tactic for decades. The game is far from over. Final scene, or the start of a new chapter. Think back to the final moment. It all seems wrapped up. The credits roll, viewers put away their blankets, turn off the lights, maybe head to the fridge, and suddenly the screen lights up again. We see the elegant Cate Blanchett playing Gi-hun somewhere in Los Angeles. Her opponent, a homeless man. This is a signal. Just an Easter egg? That's what we're told. But let's think logically. Why include a new recruitment scene at the end of a closed trilogy? And not just a reference, it's a direct repetition of the opening scene from Season 1. Same game, same process, but in another country. If the story was truly over, why show this at all? Why not end it cleanly with the island's destruction? Especially in light of Netflix's official announcement from January 2025. That month, a spin-off titled Squid Game America was confirmed, directed by David Fincher. This wasn't a rumor, it was a verified statement. And now remember, filming for Season 3 had wrapped up 6 months before that announcement. Coincidence? Highly unlikely. It feels like Netflix deliberately left a door open to step through it later. Now, let's look at the frontman, one of the saga's central characters. His storyline seems to end abruptly. He hands an infant to Gi-hun, gets into a black car, and drives away. No arrest, no punishment, no reckoning. He simply leaves. Strange, especially considering how his character had been built up over 3 seasons, a mix of moral ambiguity, tragedy, and power. Why invest 3 seasons in such a complex arc only to drop it with no resolution, especially when one critical detail stands out? By the time the island explodes, the VIPs have already been evacuated. We see it in glimpses on news screens. Part of the elite had left before the destruction. Who arranged their escape? The answer is obvious, the frontman. Who else could have maintained control during a collapse? Again, him. And if we connect that to Blanchett's appearance in the US, the puzzle fits. The frontman is passing the torch. Blanchett becomes the face of a new phase of the games, and he becomes the coordinator of a global expansion. It's not the end of his arc, it's a promotion. Gi-hun and child number 2, 2 new protagonists. Another heavily overlooked detail is the conclusion of Gi-hun's arc. He now holds 45.6 billion won, the same amount his brother died for. He also becomes the guardian of child number 222, an orphan left behind by the horrors of the games. This baby is a living symbol of every victim. And what does Gi-hun do? Nothing. We don't see his reaction, not a word. The camera fades out in silence, no joy, no grief, no plans, but that's not a weakness in the writing, it's deliberate silence. Netflix uses this technique often, leaving a clear entry point for a sequel. Gi-hun is the perfect candidate for revenge. He knows how the system works, he's seen the frontman's face, he lost his family, he's a grown-up Gi-hun, but without the naivety. He's not just a survivor, he's someone who understands it all. Now let's add child number 222 to the equation. Right now she's an infant. But even in the finale, she's positioned as something more. A blank slate marked with the blood of 456 victims. What happens 16 years from now? What if she learns the truth? What if she finds the game's archives? This story begs to be told, and Netflix knows it. Theory 1, the games is a virus. Based on the hints in Season 3 and the scene with Blanchett, the games are no longer local. They've gone global. Recruiters begin appearing in other countries. The games are now tailored to regional cultures and problems. In the US, this could look like school lotteries where guns are the prize, a brutal commentary on mass shootings. In Europe, maybe eco-quests where migrants fight for citizenship or housing. Every country has its own trauma. And the games are designed to turn that pain into spectacle. That's their greatest strength, transforming suffering into entertainment. And we've already seen the prototype in Season 3 with the hide-and-seek game that featured class division, keys versus knives. It wasn't just metaphor, it was a blueprint for a real social structure. That was the test. Now it's time for scale. Theory 2. The revenge of child number 222. Right now she's a silent infant, but she will grow up. If we imagine her arc 10 to 16 years in the future, she could become the new heart of the story. Imagine her finding the frontman's archives, discovering that her pregnant mother was forced into a jump rope game and killed in front of an audience. Her goal? Not just revenge, but to infiltrate and destroy the system from the inside. She's not broken, she's intelligent. She follows Gi-hun's philosophy but avoids his mistakes. If Gi-hun once said, "We're not horses," then she's the one who tears down the stable. This is poetic justice. His sacrifice created her legacy. Theory 3. Merging universes. Now let's go back to David Fincher's spin-off. Many think it will be a side story. But what if it's a prequel? What if Blanchett is shown building the first version of the games for Los Angeles elites, long before the Korean installment? Then, in Season 4 of the main story, Jun-ho hacks the frontman's servers and uncovers the truth. The American version was the original. We don't just get a crossover, we get a reverse origin story. Korea's nightmare was born from a Western experiment. Netflix loves this kind of setup. They've already done cultural crossover promos like Stranger Things and Sex Education, so this isn't a wild theory, it's a likely move. Why is Netflix silent? Why hasn't Netflix announced Season 4 yet? Reason 1, money. Season 3 amassed 368 million watch hours in just 3 days. A massive success. But critics weren't kind, calling out cartoonish VIPs, repetitive games, and toned-down satire. Netflix is watching. If Fincher's spin-off performs well, they'll bring back Season 4 as a revival, not a continuation. Reason 2, reputation. Hwang Dong-hyuk is reportedly exhausted. But Netflix owns the IP. Even if he steps away, they'll find another director, make the tone darker, and present it as a new vision. This isn't new, they've done it with multiple franchises. Reason 3, politics. Season 3 was criticized for its hard-hitting capitalist critique. Some countries labeled it too radical, so Netflix may change direction. In Season 4, expect a shift toward spy thrillers. Covert wars between agencies, it's safer. Easier to sell in Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. The end, or just the beginning? So remember, the island's destruction wasn't the end, it was the start of a new era. The games have escaped Korea, the frontman and Blanchett are building a global network, Jun-ho is preparing for revenge, and child number 222, she's the silent witness, and the threat of what's to come. When will we hear about Season 4? Most likely, and by the end of 2026 after Squid Game, America premieres. Netflix is just waiting for the right moment. Like this video if you won't let Netflix turn you into a background character, and tell us in the comments, who would you save first, Child 2, 22, or yourself?